Welcome to the Matrix movie review. Thanks for clicking on this, guys. I really appreciate it. 1999, guys. 1999. That is when this movie came out. This is no joke at all, guys. This is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, guys. Reading up on this movie, reading up on the trivia of this movie was just completely mind-blowing. Now, the reason why I'm doing this movie review today is a massive shout out to my oldest brother, Mike. Love you, man. Love you so much. And I wanted to do this specially for you. And I hope you really, really like the background because I did it especially for you, man. So this movie stars Keanu Reeves as Neo, Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, Carrie-Anne Moss as Trinity, and Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith. One of the things that blew my mind about this movie, guys, as a child, I'll take my sunnies off now because that was just fun. I was having a bit of fun there. One of the things that blew my mind, guys, as when I was when this movie came out in 1999, I can't remember how old I was, but my oldest brother Mike and I were just completely, totally blown away on every level that you can possibly imagine. One, this movie was filmed in Australia, in Sydney, Australia. That's where we live, right? So it's done. Now, this is a really interesting fact. This is a bit of trivia for you. This technically was done by the Wachowski brothers, but they're not actually the Wachowski brothers anymore because one of them is transgender and changed. I don't know when, but she changed somehow during the making of this movie of some description. So now it's just the Wachowskis, Wachowskis, I think that's how you say it. And so they wrote and directed this movie completely. They did the whole thing themselves. The opening sequence of this movie apparently took I think they said around 6 months to do. Keanu Reeves and all the fight sequences took literally 6 months. The actual movie of this thing was just a mammoth masterpiece. Now, as I was watching this movie, I actually realized, and I didn't even think about this until today, there's literally a generation of kids that don't even know about this movie because it's so old. Now, you look at movies like today, Endgame, where, the technology is just unbelievable, but this is where it all started. This movie, when Neo... spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm going to tell you a little spoiler now. It came out in 1999, guys. You've got to have seen it by now. If you haven't, you have to see this. It's rated M, so it's, done for mature audiences, and it only goes for 2 hours and 16 minutes. There's a moment in this movie, guys, that literally... it changed cinema. It changed the way we do our films today. It changed everything about it. And that's where the bullet goes towards Neo and it flies past him and he does the whole whoosh. That's a very, very, very known thing. It's a known, gimmick, people. After that happened, after that moment happened, I cannot tell you how much it was a thing. Flying backwards in slow motion was literally, it was this thing in time that went, they just locked it in. And then people from just years and years after, there was spoof movies done about it and it was unbelievable. One of the most phenomenal things I found out about this movie is that they actually didn't want Keanu Reeves to be the main star of it, but he was the most invested in it. He was the one that was like, no, I've got this. Don't worry about it. I've got this. I mean, you rewatching it, it's now 2016, guys, and this was made in 1999. This is a really, really old film, like for real. Like it's not, I mean, it's not ancient, but it is, you know, for a film, it's really old. One of the most fascinating things about this movie is the editing. Now, watching the opening of this scene, and you know what Neo goes through to come into the real world, because technically you're in the Matrix now, according to the Matrix. So the cinematography they went through to make this movie is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Like it was literally groundbreaking for its time. Like it was totally groundbreaking, right? I remember as I was watching it again, I remember my brother Mike. Thank you again. You're amazing. Love you so much. I remember when we went to Movie World on the Gold Coast, Queensland, in Queensland, Australia, and they literally had an exhibition, literally an exhibition, completely made for the Matrix, literally. This is just thinking about it. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. So it was so incredibly detailed and purposely detailed that they literally had a phone. If you haven't seen The Matrix, check it out. When you come back to this review, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They had a phone that literally rang and rang and rang and rang and rang. It just rang. You could go into the phone booth, right? At this exhibit, you could go into the phone booth, pick up the phone, and it would say, "Welcome to the Matrix," and the sound that you hear in the movie, it would be it. And then you'd hung up, and then it would just keep ringing until the next person picked up. It was that detailed, guys. This movie, it stands the test of time. Now, I will say that I think it's Reloaded. I think that's what it's called. The film that came after this, I think it's called Matrix Reloaded. I can't exactly remember what it's called. Sorry, guys, I should have done my homework on that. But the second, so this is a trilogy. The Matrix was a trilogy. The second film was still incredible, but unfortunately the third film wasn't taken into critics as big and as huge, and simply because of the fact that they just went so heavy on the CGI because of what the Matrix made. It literally, I actually think it doubled what they originally, I think it doubled what they originally had the budget for, and then it blew up. Guys, as you can see, I'm really, really excited to do this movie review right now, because it really just, when I was, however old I was in 1999, it was a benchmark, and I just could not believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe that filmmakers had that much of a passion and that much just, like, I don't even know the word, guys. You know, they knew what they were doing and they wanted to do it well, you know, and oh my gosh, the end result is what it is. Look around me, guys. This is the Matrix, you know? It's just incredible. Oh my gosh. Guys, if you have not seen this movie, please do yourself the biggest favor ever. Watch The Matrix. I promise you that you'll be blown away, remembering that this is back in 1999. So you look at today's movie like Endgame, where 90% of it is CGI. This was like the birth of it. This is like the absolute baby steps into it. Oh my gosh, I really, really value this one. Thank you so much for watching this movie review, guys. I really appreciate it. Much love to my oldest brother, Mike. Massive shout out to you, brother. I hope you love this movie review as much as I did doing it. Until my next review, guys, you take care, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Bye.